Hello viewers! Like every other pretentious person talking about video games, I too will tell you what games I liked the most this year. And just a quick heads up before I continue. This is just my personal opinion, and me not being able to buy all the games means that I will only include the ones that I actually managed to get. So the reasons why there are no games like the new Legend of Zelda or few others is just because sadly I don't have the finances to get them all. Now, without further ado, here are my top 5 games of 2017. Number 5. People were annoyed about this game when it released. They said that it won't be good just because it didn't follow the previous Prey's storyline, and how wrong they were. Prey 2017 surprised me with amazing gameplay and a story that kept me on the edge of my seat all the while I was playing it. The combination of RPG elements and exploring the mysteries of the huge space station never felt boring to me, and the best thing of all is that it took quite obvious inspiration, almost to the degree of copying it, from System Shock and BioShock, which isn't a bad thing if you do it right. And the only reason why I didn't put it higher on the list is because it kinda dragged on a bit towards the end, but nothing to ruin the experience. But there are games that deserve higher spots on this list. Number 4. What kind of pretentious gamer would I be if I didn't include an indie game on my top 5 list? But besides that, Hollow Knight, in my opinion, more than deserves to be the number 4 best game of this year. Besides keeping me stuck to my screen for hours and actually having a story that kept you curious even after finishing it, it took the Metroidvania gameplay and polished it to a sheen. The progression and controls of this game are so tightly crafted that I never felt like it was unfair. It just made me want to focus even harder and push through all the obstacles that it threw at me. Along with wonderful music and beautiful environments that don't get boring even after you go through them for hundreds of times, this game more than deserves to be called one of the best. Number 3. You do have to give respects to Ninja Theory for not selling out while making this game. They call it a independent AAA game, but in my opinion that's just wrong. This is so much better than that. It is an independent project that a developer made out of love, and they did not want anyone else to tell them how to do it. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is a psychological fantasy game that puts you in the shoes of the title character Senua and her journey towards Helheim, all the while managing to depict visually and through sounds how a person with a certain mental illness might see the world around them. Every moment of this game feels like a work of art. The only gripe that I had with it was that the combat felt repetitive at times, but you won't even notice it on your first playthrough. A game like this, being one of the best games of this year, just goes to show how developers don't need millions and millions to make an actually amazing game. Number 2. Damn, it was hard to decide which of the next 2 games to put in the number 2 spot. After thinking for a while, I put the one that I spent more time with on the number 1 spot. But that doesn't diminish the fact that NieR Automata is a really good game. The only thing that might put people off is the look of the main character. Not everyone can take seriously a main character that is wielding swords that are taller than her, all the while being dressed in a French maid's outfit. But if you look past that and actually play the game, you will see that it has a rich and deep story that actually asks questions like what makes us human? And on top of that, having amazing combat mechanics that somehow combine bullet hell shooters with action RPG elements. On top of that, the world of NieR is so beautiful and fun to explore that you can easily immerse yourself in it, which makes the story of this game even more impactful. And yes, I confess, the game actually made me almost tear up at moments. Being connected with characters on that level just goes to show you how good a game this actually is. But still, it did not get the number 1 spot. Number 1. Wow, I spent too much time on this one. After playing Divinity Original Sin 2 for over hundreds of hours on my first playthrough, I decided to start a new one with a character that was wholly different from the first one. And to my general surprise, most of the game and character reactions were so different from how they reacted to my first character that it felt almost like playing a different game. The combat might have been similar, but thanks to the ever-changing environment, it always kept me on my toes and could end up differently even if I loaded up a save game to repeat the same fight again. And man, this game is huge. After spending over tens of hours on the first island, I thought that I'm close to the end, but no, the game just threw a first chapter complete at my face and I was amazed. The game world is so detailed and full of wonderful side stories that you could accidentally find by just talking to a dog, for instance. And since I already made a video about this game, I won't go much into detail here. But be assured that Divinity Original Sin 2 is more than deserving of the #1 spot on this list. Together with the immersive world, fun and in-depth combat system and a high replayability value, this one gets to be my top game of 2017. As always, goodbye and thanks for listening.